be playing some Minesweeper X, and I believe that this is a great time for. Let me just mute myself on stream. There you go. And I will hopefully be doing some very pro plays. So let's see. We've got a one, and there we go. First loss of the day right away. What am I supposed to do about that? Well, guess what? All I have to do is retry and try again. And you may be wondering, why am I streaming today? Well, it has to do with a couple of different things. One thing would, of course, be the fact that I actually don't have time to record a regular video to put onto YouTube. So I decided, you know what, why not stream so that I can just put it directly onto YouTube without having to downsize the file size so that I have to take a slow upload or whatever. Why not just upload it directly? So I decided to do that. Also, I am experimenting with streaming since I haven't... Ah, snap! I should pay more attention. Ugh. Not the pro plays everyone tuned in to watch by the looks of it. But not that there's anyone watching right now anyway. So, good times, I suppose. Look at that. Okay, I think this is the one. There we go. Let's just pin down some here. And by the way, this is a custom size Minesweeper. So, I don't know exactly what that means. It means that we're not going to be able to finish by that time, or at least not at my level. We're not going to be able to finish at that time. Now, of course, some of the real top of the line folks probably could, but unfortunately, I'm not one of those. I'm just not a filthy casual, but just a midline dude who loves playing Minesweeper. I played a lot when I'm listening to podcasts or listening to debates, because I love listening to debates. You should listen to some debates sometime. It helps you see both sides of the issue. Now, of course, not everyone is the best debater. Some people are poor debaters. Some people are pretty trash debaters. Some people are ugly trash debaters. So either way, debate. But what I really am looking for is some nice banter, top quality banter. Not necessarily top keck, but definitely could get into here. If you want me to describe any of these plays that I'm making, please feel free to ask. But of course, there's no one watching right now. So yep, that's how we live stream nowadays. We just go up, see if anyone tunes in. No one's tuning in, but you know what? Just keep going. The show must go on. If the show doesn't go on, then who goes on the show? That's a nice philosophical question. Actually, no, it's not philosophical at all. It's entirely irrelevant. It has no meaningful basis, no epistemology within it. Just words coming out of my mouth. But you know what? Sometimes those words, they can get tied together into a nice sentence, and they can make quite a bit of sense. But when they don't, they just don't make sense. And what am I supposed to do about that? Well, I guess I could try harder, but who wants to be a tryhard? I do kind of want to be a tryhard. Just, well, maybe not enough. I don't want to be a tryhard that much. Just a little bit, a tiny bit. Look at those plays. Look at that skill. You don't get this this kind of skill from casuals. Minesweeper is all about pattern recognition. It's about seeing these patterns that occur over and over again, so that you don't have to do the calculations every single time. So it's essentially very reason-based. It's a very realist game. Not realistic, just realist, in that you can get these patterns and you can trust the patterns. You can trust them to get you where you need to go. and you don't have to worry about things changing in between. The rules are the same. The math is always going to be the same, but sometimes the game screws you over when suddenly you find yourself in a place where there is no logical solution that is 100% accurate, and you are forced to take a shot in the dark, and guess what? Half the time, you don't make it. And you know what? That specific half of the time, that feels bad, man. It really does. And you know what? What am I supposed to do about it? I don't know. You tell me. I'm going to call the people who develop the game. I'm going to tell them, hey, why don't you make the game a bit more like Sudoku, where there is always a logical solution? No, that is not what I'm going to do. I respect the game the way it is, and I think that it doesn't need to be made easier for the casuals that want to get in on it. It doesn't need to have a disabled ramp for it, because guess what? Who's gonna climb a video game with a wheelchair? I certainly am not. Just saying. I mean, what do you need to why would you ever need to climb something virtually with a wheelchair if you're disabled in real life, and the game itself doesn't really have a wheelchair in it already? What would the purpose be in that? There wouldn't really be a good purpose in that. It would just be something that's happening. And you know what? Things happen, and things happen over and over and over again. And what am I supposed to do about it? And I am loving the stream right now. By the looks of it, there isn't any lag because I'm playing an offline game. There's no problems here. Nobody's getting angry. Nobody's telling me that, do you know the way to Uganda? No. Okay, I'm not playing this game in Uganda, and I'm pretty sure that with all due respect to the people of Uganda, there are people there who could enjoy a game like this. But you know what? No reason to be forceful about it. Okay, no reason to force the issue. No reason to press the issue. No reason to just make it happen when it doesn't really need to. When you know, these people, they've got their free agency. They've got choices to make. You don't need to manage their choices for them. Who invited you to do that? Who invited you? Who's paying you to do these things? I certainly am not. The people there, they're probably not paying you to do this, unless for some reason someone has actually decided to pay you to make all the important choices for them. That's yeah, you're not an advisor anymore at that point. At that point, you are a custodian. Maybe that's not the best word to use because it has its own context. A guardian. There you go. You are their legal guardian. Not that you're necessarily guarding the individual, because what if you're not? What if you just make their life decisions, but when you see that individual is in a situation that may require physical defense, you decide, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not paid for that. Do it yourself. You know what? That's a situation where you should not be proud to call yourself a guardian, because you're not really acting in a guarding manner. But I guess those are all questions that people can have, and questions that I think we all have to some extent. What really defines what is a guardian? Who defines what is right and wrong? And was the stuff that Logan Paul did in that forest in Japan really wrong? Okay. Here comes the controversial opinion segment of this Minesweeper playthrough. I actually don't have a problem with him having taken video of the corpse. I do not have a problem with that. I know some people get very upset at such things. I personally do not. Now, of course, in relation to YouTube's terms of service, you can't upload that onto YouTube. So, bad on you, Logan Paul. There. On the other hand, you know, the reaction an individual has to seeing a corpse. I actually looked it up on YouTube just to see what exactly they were looking at, because I take interest in such things. Somebody's going to misconstrue that at some point in the future. I take interest in such things, and I was thinking, and I actually got to see a segment from the original video where they actually showed the corpse that someone had re-uploaded, and my reaction to Logan Paul's reaction is, you know what? What are you gonna do? You find a corpse. You don't really know what reaction you're supposed to have if you've never been in that situation before. So, I think he did as well as many people of his generation would do when confronted in such an unusual situation. It's so rare for young people nowadays to see dead bodies, so I don't blame him for the emotions in his reaction. But the one thing that I do say that was a misstep was putting it on YouTube, because terms of service, dude. Respect the terms. Gotta respect the terms. Says the guy that specifically looked up the original video on YouTube because he was curious. Oh man, I dug my own hole there. I definitely did not see that coming. Man, the hypocrisy levels right here are top level. Well, is it really hypocrisy though? Because my standard was uploading it onto YouTube and not searching it on YouTube, which are actually two different standards. So I'm going to rules lawyer it and say that it wasn't actually hypocrisy on my part. Just like advocating against federal subsidies while wearing subsidized clothing is not hypocrisy, because you're not saying by wearing that clothing you're not actually approving the subsidies themselves. You're not doing that in itself. And you may wonder, where did that suddenly come from federal subsidies? That's because I had a school teacher once who said, yeah, that's hypocrisy. You're talking about those federal subsidies. I wasn't the person talking about it. It was another student. Then why are you wearing this shirt here that obviously had fabric that is subsidized? Aren't you a hypocrite? And my answer is no, that individual was not a hypocrite, because you have to get your categories straight. You have to make sure that you're not doing any category errors in your argumentation, so that everything is okay. And I'm surprised that I'm doing this well while talking, because I'd think that it'd be a lot easier to lose focus in this situation. And it indeed is very easy for me to lose focus in this situation. So, well, I just gotta keep going, eh? People always wonder, why do you say A? Are you Canadian or something? And you know what? I tell them, I've never been to Canada. I just say A because that's just the way I talk. I've met a Canadian once, but other than that, I don't frequently listen to Canadians. Not for any prejudicial reason. It's just that there's no one that is Canadian that I really have to listen to. for any specific reason. So I just happened to say A. What's the deal, eh? What are you gonna do about it? You gonna sue me? You're gonna call me up? You're gonna call the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, have them knocking down my door once more to arrest me, to imprison me, to I don't know, hold me in contempt of court. I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna do, but I definitely think that whatever it is that you would do against that certainly would be excessive. Because honestly, are you really gonna get upset about an individual using a word that in itself isn't even derogatory or generally offensive in any way? Come on, take a chill pill. What is your deal? Why don't you chill out, chillax, get your groove on, cause man's not hot, eh? Oh no! Oh man, I should have thought about that. I did not consider this one here, and that's why I did that. So there you go. That's how easy it is to lose a game of Minesweeper. That is just how easy it is. What are you going to do about it? Well, what I'm going to do about it is I'm going to try again. Because... Ah, snap! There you go. That's always the issue with Minesweeper. Most of the restarts are going to be if you've got a bad start. Because, you know, you can't control what's there. You can't control if there's a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4 or a 5 or a 6 or a 7 or an 8 or a mine. You can't control that. There's nothing you can do about it. And if you were to do something about it, I would definitely want to know what it would be, because that would help me play better in the future. And as someone who takes this game very seriously, as you should, any game, I think that exchanging pro tips is a very courteous and kind thing to do. Please, I would thank you if you were to offer me that sort of respect, that generosity, that magnanimity. I would be very grateful. But on the other hand, if you were to then slap it away out of my hand, you just insult me, slap me on the face, slap me on the wrist even. I mean, why would you do that? That's why slap me on the wrist. You slap me around. What am I going to do? I'm going to say, well, I'm going to take my business somewhere else. How dare you? That's not a very nice thing to do. Maybe someone ought to teach you some manners. But you clearly don't really want to listen to what I'm saying, so I'm going to go somewhere else, okay? Okay, you cool with that? Well, actually, it doesn't matter if you're cool with that, because I'm going to do it anyway. So, good day, Monsignor. I am glad that I got to meet you, but unfortunately, recent events that have come to pass have forced me to seek out different opportunities, to look for greener pastures, to expand in a different direction. And I just don't think that you have what it takes to provide a safe environment for me, a safe working environment, a friendly environment. Not that the environment has to be excessively friendly or jolly or anything of the sort. It's just that I just don't like getting slapped around, okay? And I'm not going to work for someone that goes around slapping me around. It's just not a dignified way to work. It also is not really, it approaches illegal levels, levels of illegality. And honestly, for your sake, sir, who decided to slap me around, I think that it would be better for you if I, the person that you enjoy slapping around, leaves, so that in the future you will not have that risk of getting a lawsuit, eh? See, a mutual benefit here. I leave, I don't get slapped around anymore, and you don't get in trouble with the law. And no, I just noticed something that is mildly infuriating, and that is indeed this situation that we've got right here. 3 and 1, which one? Who knows? 3 and 1, which one? Who knows? A 4, which one? Who knows? Very, very uncomfortable. And I'm going to have to go back to that. I'm going to have to deal with that. And how am I supposed to deal with that? I don't know. I guess I just gotta leave it up to random chance. But there is one thing I can do. I can wait until my mines are down to the minimum level, until I've discovered every other mine on the entire field. And then, once that has occurred, that event, that eventuality, I will be able to calculate the probability of mines being in certain areas in here. Because I could go in the center, but you know what? I don't know if there's a mine there. I don't know if there's a possibility of a mine being there. And without that knowledge, it's just me going in blind. And you know what? I don't like being blind. And speaking of blindness, specifically speaking of losing an eye, which isn't necessarily the same thing as blindness, but I always think that wearing an eye patch would be a lot cooler than having a glass eye. That's just my opinion. I know some people wear glass eyes for the looks of it, but if I ever were to lose an eye, and please do not gouge my eye out, please do not chemically damage my eye, please do not punch me in the eye if you ever meet me in person, okay? If I ever were to lose an eye, I would much prefer an eye patch. I mean, if you walk around with an eye patch, nobody is going to take you lightly. Everybody is going to immediately know that you're that guy with the eye patch. Nobody's going to mess with you. Well, people might mess with you, depending on other things. But people are going to know, look at that guy. He's got an eye patch. It's very noticeable. It's very notable. That actually might solve some problems in my life. It seems that almost every time I go to a restaurant with my relatives, and the waitress or someone there gets the order wrong, and my idea is just falling apart. Look at that nightmare. The waitress or whoever else gets the order wrong. At that point, I know for certainty that it's always my order that's gotten wrong. I don't know why. Why is it always mine among a group? It just is so weird. It's almost surreal that it seems that every time, if something's wrong, it's always mine. And I guarantee you that it's not that I change my order midway through them making it. I don't do that. That's not a very nice thing to do. If you're not ready to order, don't order. But yeah, I just don't know why. Don't know why. Don't know why. Don't know why you're here. Oops. Let's not get too deep into that rabbit hole. But yeah, it's always mine that gets messed up. and then I always end up waiting while everybody else eats, and then I'm the last one that eats. But that I'm used to it. Because interestingly enough, I'm always usually also the tallest person at the table, and you'd think, oh, that's the tall guy, the most noticeable guy because he's tall. You wouldn't get somebody's missed order. You'd think it'd be less likely to get the order messed up for someone that is easier to notice by virtue of being tall. But apparently, for me, that's not the case. Maybe I'm too polite. Maybe I don't know. I have no idea. I'm actually gonna cease this line of thought. I'm gonna purge it from my train of thought and deal with other issues. Whatever issues can I deal with? Oh, I could talk about politics on Twitch. Get myself a nice little nice little report. Let's see. Are people gonna... Do people talk about politics on Twitch? I haven't looked. I'm not as familiar with the Twitch terms of service as the YouTube terms of service. So maybe it's something that's cool to talk about. Maybe I can get some politics up, and maybe I can talk about controversial politics. I'm not talking about general politics. I'm talking about controversial politics, stuff that people get angry over. You know, stuff that I think that I can agree is important to discuss, but most people other than me would agree that is potentially uncomfortable to discuss. A lot of people find a lot of discomfort in discussing politics, and I understand, but you know what? Somebody's got to do it, and it might as well be me. It might as touch be me. By the way, if anyone is watching this who would like to collaborate with me in critiquing news articles, it can be any kind of news article, really. It actually doesn't even have to be a news article. It can be any kind of article as long as the subject is appropriate, and that is something for my discernment to decide. As long as you've got a mic and you can be respectful, then you're in. There you go. Easy way into Twitch, easy way into YouTube. Have an easy time. Well, I don't know if I can do that on Twitch, but easy way onto YouTube anyway. There you go. Look at that. Lovely. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Snapperino. Snappity dappity doo. That's getting the job done. Look at that. 3 of them in a row. Ooh, there's one here, but right now I don't really have the ability to determine its exact location. However, it will slowly become increasingly clear. And we'll see if I'll rage quit once I get to the bottom 2 blocks that I still have to deal with. Now, ideally, it's going to be the highest possible number. So for this one, it'll be 4 and 3, so 7, ideally, because then I would know exactly where they are, because I can calculate that. Now, if it's a lower number, because there's 2 blocks, it's there's quite a bit of uncertainty as to where it might be, because we have 2 of them that we can't really ascertain at the moment. There we go. Look at that. Wonderful. So let's see if we can push up toward the top. There we go. Slowly making our way up. There we go. Okay. That area cuts off a bit, so that may be a danger zone. Well, nope. Luckily for me, it's not a danger zone. and I'm able to pull in that way. And there you go. Let's go down here a bit. Pull that up. And there we go. Okay. And there we go. That's cleared out. Wow. There you go. Look at that. Look at those plays. Look at those plays. MLG. MLG Minesweeper. Maybe that's what I should rename the stream. Well, no. I'm not going to rename the stream to that. So, because, I don't know. Yeah. As I said earlier, I don't know exactly what the... I don't have it memorized what I can and cannot do on Twitch, because I usually do YouTube. So, that would definitely be interesting to find out, because then I would be able to, do better. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Huzzah! Ooh, that could have been an accident there. That could have been a very bad situation. Okay, that cannot be it up there. That means this has to be it. This cannot be it. And now let's see if we can clear out in this direction and then loop back around to that. And there we go. Quite a bit of information we've gathered. There we go. That's cleared out. Let's see if we can continue to creep along the edge. Creeping along the edge is misclick. 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 Man. Yeah, don't you just hate it when you misclick? But I think this is long enough for a test stream, and no one's really watching right now. So so what am I supposed to do? Well, I guess I'll stop here then, and then I'll publish to YouTube. So anyway, thank you all for watching. It'd be interesting if you I don't know what can you do with the Twitch stream. I don't know, but when this gets published to YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, favorite. Nope, you can't do that anymore. That's not something that exists anymore as a default function anyway. So thank you all for watching, and I will be seeing you all next time. I will toss over and out.